NewsBiscuit. Real fake news.
Welcome to NewsBiscuit, the UK's original fake news. NewsBiscuit, basically killing time until we all die. I'm your host, Wrenfoe, and our inappropriate trade envoys tonight are Caboodle.
Hello.
Chipchase.
Good evening.
Bernard Castle.
Good evening.
And Alopecia.
Hi.
This month, we've learned that the grand old Duke of York had 10,000 men, but he claims he was at Pizza Express at the time.
Oh, God.
So that brings us to our first round, News in Brief, where our panelists select their favourite headlines and I award marks for good penmanship. So, Alopecia, what do you have for us tonight?
Woolly Rhino, still a bit vague. UK Afghan exit strategy modelled on Brexit.
I think it's more organised than that.
I was going to say it's much better organised than that.
Yeah.
Jacob Rees-Mogg asks for horseless carriages to be included in the highway code. Finally, Raab C exit.
That's a win, that is. Can I resign now? Can I resign?
Yeah, play your Joker card early. Is my advice. Caboodle, what do you have?
Dating app user freaks out after receiving normal message.
Is it that bad? Is online dating that bad? Because I'm a little bit too old to have, and a little bit too married to be allowed, and to be allowed on dating apps as much as I used. No, I've just never done it. Is it really bad? Is it a minefield of just...
Oh, it's an absolute minefield of weirdos, yeah. Wonderful Twitter threads of the worst possible messages a human could send another human.
Well,
you're also lonely. We'll just go for it anyway.
But there's a dating app for every demographic. I'm signed up to Limper.
And I don't want to sound sexist, but I'm assuming all the bad stuff is the men.
I would say it was an 80-20 split for the weirdness.
Yeah. That sounds about right from all our experiences.
Makes me proud to be a man, really.
Yeah.
Well, it makes you consistent.
Good to know we're normal. We're in the normal demographic.
Very refreshing.
Well, that's it. If you're really badly behaved or even appallingly behaved, the vast majority of people are doing the same thing as you, then you're fine. That's what sort of, voting Tory allows you to do. Right. Oh, sorry. Anyway, so what else do you have, Kit?
We'll give up everything to save Earth, except cars, planes, meat, etc. Everyone agreed it was really important to do something as long as it was not now and not them.
I mean, I don't drive, and partly that's down to laziness on my part. But I consider myself an eco-warrior because I don't drive. But I still get, it's either abuse or just funny looks if I say I'm not driving.
It could be.
I'm holding it back, in fact. If anything, everyone would stop driving if it wasn't for me making it look weird.
You do it very well, though, I have to say.
Yes, I just sort of sit in the road and make driving noises by myself.
Pornhub to ban porn. It's something we've been thinking of doing for a while, said CEO Max Hardon.
Yeah, so which because there is a site, obviously, that's based on the site that OnlyFans. I've never come across it, and I'm saying that now.
Oh, right.
What's it called?
Just to make that really clear. No, I mean, I'm aware of pornography, and some of my best friends are pornographers. I hadn't heard of this particular website, partly because of the name, because it sounds like, I thought it sounded like a fan website where you go on and you're a fan of stuff, but it's just a fan of boobs, is it?
Fan of sex work in general, yes.
But
okay.
I thought it was about chess. That's why I signed up.
They're a porn site that's giving up on porn. That's an odd business meeting you're going to be having with your board of directors. We're doing this
it's been absolutely ridiculous.
We're doing this porn thing. It's really successful. Yes, but, this is what our people want. I think they do.
All 29 billion of them?
Yeah. So what are they going to move into? Are they going to be like fruit baskets?
Embroidery.
Yeah.
Embroidery. Something to keep your hands busy.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Use your left hand and your right hand.
Yeah.
Locals celebrate after picture of cock and balls on church attributed to Banksy. The work, which has thrilled art lovers across the world, has been described as a bold statement about the gentrification of seaside towns, which essentially makes us all feel like cocks.
Is that linked to the previous one?
Bernard, what have you got?
French revolutionary peasants never liked cake in the first place. And one part of this I particularly liked was famously Alfred the Great. Alfred the Great would burn cakes in front of his subjects, not by accident, but just because he could. Google only searches for sites that match your preconceived opinion, which I think is a true reflection of almost everything I look at on the internet. I think somehow they've tuned into who I am. They've got Google, something called Google Thought As Much, which effectively censors alternative views and second opinions. Defense chiefs windy about giving nuclear codes to Johnson. I particularly love the idea that he wouldn't be able to remember them.
228222122.
He'd just cheat on Trident with another set of nuclear weapons from another country.
Absolutely.
We'd find him in another silo, just rubbing up and down against the Russian warhead. I thought it was my wife. I didn't realise. I'm spaffed all over the launch codes.
James O'Brien shocked that voting for Boris might actually get Boris.
Yes,
which having listened to him, that's how he is.
Yeah.
He voted for Boris, didn't
He
he?
voted for Boris, yeah.
And then spent all the next few years just whining about Brexit. You go, you can't have it both ways. Well, I guess you can have it both ways. I mean, that's the great thing about being a talk show host. Your viewers, they only sort of remember that episode and nothing before, which is what I'm hoping with this, really.
Exactly.
He could just change his position each week and people just go, yeah, he's consistent.
I'm sorry, we're talking about now Boris.
No, James O'Brien.
James
Yeah,
O'Brien.
you're right,
Well, both, actually, both, yeah.
Both, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, I think
Yes.
Boris is as constant as the Northern Star. He's been an incompetent forever, hasn't he? There wasn't any point in his career, Boris, where he just was respectable, was he? I mean, he was
No,
always
never.
dreadful.
No.
Never.
No.
And yet we keep voting for him, regardless.
Yeah.
Can we qualify the we?
Yes,
please?
yes. Come.
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't.
We're all denying that we voted for Boris. Well, that can't
Yes.
be true because somebody's definitely doing it. He
Yeah,
won
yeah.
Lord Mayor and everything. Okay.
He was at his best when he was dangling on that zip wire. Yeah, that
Finest
was
moment.
when he peaked with 2 Union flags in his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very on brand for him,
Yes.
wasn't it?
Perfect.
Yes.
And we all looked at that and went, you know what? We should vote for him some
Yeah,
more.
he's Prime Minister, Planeteer.
Yeah, he's wasted as Mayor of London.
Yes, yeah.
Chipchase.
Summerfield cancelled after tombola outbreak. UCAS to introduce Hunger Games for clearing this year.
And it would be like the Hunger Games on so many levels because
It would, wouldn't it?
it would always
Absolutely.
it'd always be the pretty girls doing it, levitating in the air with their A-level results, celebrating.
Yes.
It's never the hideous trolls at the back who were the ones who really studied and worked hard and had to stay in a cave for 2 years. And then what usually happens is that the sun then does and they're going to be 18 in under 3 weeks time or whatever it is.
Global warming caused by millions setting fire to their Lionel Messi Barcelona shirts.
He earns €1 a second.
Yes, he probably does.
No, he does.
But is
I
it the
worked
same-
out.
I can believe it. Yeah.
I'm an engineer and I worked it out. It's €1 a second.
But is
Yeah.
it the same? Is it the same euro? Is he easily confused?
It's like on a piece of string backwards.
Yes. Top Cat used to do that kind of wheeze.
Exactly what I was going to say. I've got Stagehand going on holiday. Admits he's looking forward to a change of scenery.
Hey.
Oh, winner.
Sorry, I do have to apologise for that.
We should stop now. You've peaked.
Yeah.
Well, try this one for size.
Oh.
Fear. This might be difficult to read. Not that I'm reading. I'm doing this, ad lib. Fears. Yeah. Ooh, make sure you cut that bit. Fears that BMW hacking vulnerability could lead to owners driving with more due care and attention.
Yeah.
There was a BMW recall when they found one of their new models had their indicator lights were working.
Yeah.
Because I don't drive, I'm oblivious to bad drivers. Unless I'm like lying in a pool of blood in some burning
Yes.
wreckage,
Yeah.
I wouldn't know if someone's a bad driver or not. They all seem very jolly to me, particularly the BMW drivers, because they're always driving alongside you, right in front of you. I mean, that just seems like japes, doesn't it?
I can help you out with that. I can help you out with that, Wrenfoe. Everyone's a bad driver except for me.
Let's clear that one up.
That's just how it
Weird,
works. That's how it works.
That's how it works for me.
That's
as
it works for
well.
everyone. It works for us all.
Everyone's
that way.
terrible, but I'm
Yeah.
great.
My favourite from the month is man in jogging bottoms arrested after appearing on no-fly list.
Ah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's exactly the reaction I was going for. Muted and with an extended pause after the punchline.
And then followed by jazz hands.
Deep groan.
Yeah, deep groans, closing of doors, yawning.
I'm looking forward to a headline in NewsBiscuit in about 50 years. Last person in the UK dies who remembers seeing a Carry On movie. When will we finally get over it?
Well, did anyone ever watch a full-length Carry On movie? Because I only ever watched because ITV did that kind of condensed highlights thing, didn't they? So I know snippets. So I just know Barbara Windsor's breasts popping out, and that's the extent of my cultural understanding of Carry On. Was there more to it?
One clip.
Yeah, well, I had it on pause a lot. I was a teenager at the time.
Well, they worked until
Infamy, fucking infamy.
That's Talbot Rothwell.
Frying tonight.
Yeah.
Look at you all. This is the happiest I've ever seen you all. You're all just you're regressing into a smuttier time. Alopecia is going to be sharing one of his favorite stories. We have a chat room on NewsBiscuit, which is full of good human banter. And Al is very active on this. And I've noticed over the years, there's one thing that seems to trigger Al above all others, the one thing that brings on the rage, and it's Brexit. Mo, before you to do the story, my question to you is, for how many more years are you going to be angry about Brexit?
For as long as it takes.
Have you thought about some sort of anger management course, or can you get those animals? Those are they stress chickens? What are they? The animals.
No, you can't get any stress chickens. They're all held up at Dover.
They're called. Are they stress chickens or support animals?
Support animals.
Support animals. It sounds like a creature that comes on before Coldplay play. And here's a llama doing an Adele set.
I would love that.
That would be better than Coldplay, yes.
I'd go and see that.
Can I just interject and say the best tribute band name I've ever heard is a tribute band for Elbow called Arse.
That is good. That
It is good.
Right.
But yeah, the Brexit thing, Al, that just sort of descends into rage so quickly for you in the chat room. There's not even a let's talk about it in a light-hearted way. You're like full on, I will kill you all.
It just staggers me every time I see it. And we've actually got a Brexit dividends thread on the chat room.
We have.
We haven't got a single example of one yet.
Well, surely that's the dividend itself, is that it's provided us lots of conversation and lots of good gags.
Absolutely, and the imports of pigs from Denmark will be easy because they'll all fly here.
Right then, Al. Okay, so tell us your favourite story from the archive.
Ryanair to charge for emotional baggage. The announcement was made in an attempt to avoid delays caused by family arguments at check-in and boarding. Henceforth, Ryanair will have a strict rule of one simple divorce case per passenger. One regular flyer claimed that this sort of money grabbing reminded me of my absent dad, who just took, but left me nothing in his will. And they added another $29.99.
Very good.
Excellent. Thank you, Al.
Very good.
But I've actually been on airlines without any seats and chairs and things.
Isn't that just getting fired out of a cannon?
That's what it was.
It seemed so cramped at the time.
Yeah.
And the countdown, the 1, 2, 3, was very disconcerting. Our next round is True Biscuit, where our panel has to guess which is the real headline and which is the fake one. Kit Caboodle, you start for us tonight.
Olympic softballers hunt roaming bear. No luck finding it so far.
Obviously, there's a roaming bear. We'll park that for a moment because that seems like something from Winter's Tale. Why are softballers qualified to find bears as opposed to other athletes? What edge have they got?
It is a game that involves it's rounders, essentially. Like it's baseball, but like...
Oh, yeah, and bears love baseball. Yes, good point. Good point. No, why?
Yeah.
What?
Exactly.
What? No,
I mean, baseball sounds like bears ball, so...
And bears love a pun?
Yeah, they blooming do. If you go up to a grizzly bear and you give it a decent pun, you will not get ripped to shreds by that bear.
So you don't need to run run away.
I think we should warn
I can
our
see
viewers now that if anyone actually is confronted with a bear, Kit's advice that to use a pun is not advisable, and any lawyers of bereaved family members shouldn't be getting in contact with us. So what, you take a softball person, you smear them in honey, you kind of send them out.
You hang them from a tree, and that is the best way to get a bear. Again, not true. No, apparently Olympic softballers are the biggest fans of bears imaginable, specifically American. If they hear about a bear in their vicinity, they will try and find it.
Pavlovian, you hear bear, run, kind of.
Hear bear, try and find it. Like,
try and find it.
They're a sucker for a Pavlov.
A nice Pavlov.
Softball.
Who isn't?
Yeah, well, so that goes against all our kind of natural instincts, sort of fight or flight. There's a whole other subsection of softballers which are run towards the danger and possibly get eaten.
The bear population in Japan has apparently had a massive increase recently. So there were far more bears roaming around Tokyo than there normally would be. And there was news in the Olympic Village of bears.
And they told the American softballers. That's a mistake, because we know the American softballers love bears. You can imagine in the Olympic Village where they're sort of knocking on doors to make sure the Olympiads aren't having sex. And then you get to the softballer's door and you just hear a growling noise. You go, what's that? You open the door up and there's this bear sort of trussed and tied up in this bed. And all these softballers going, what? It just, we found him like that.
Excellent stage left pursued by a softball.
Yeah. That's more of a Winter Olympics one, though.
Yeah.
Very good.
Very good. Well, I've been to Japan and I did play softball as well, but I have to say I never encountered a bear. I never qualified to play softball in the Olympics.
Oh,
therefore the bears wouldn't be interested in me.
You think there's another standard you got to get to?
Yes,
so
clearly.
There's mastering the court, there's mastering the ball, but if you're Olympic standard, they go, release the bears.
Yes, it's bear time. Yeah. Let's go. So based on my extensive experience of all these things, I would say it's completely true.
No, I think it's true. Bear wrangling is it.
That sounds like a really bad gene. It's a knockoff gene. You have some Levi's, you can get bear wranglers.
That's my new hobby.
They come pre-ripped.
Yeah, just got your arse cheeks just kind of exposed at the back.
I can't make up my mind, but one thing I'm sure of is that headline was written by the cryptic crossword question setter of the Times or something like that, because I'll find it impenetrable. So based on that, I'll go true.
Right. Okay, Kit, barefaced lie, or is it
true?
Yay!
Chipchase.
Original vacuum cleaners were drawn by horses, and I don't mean drawn; I mean pulled by.
Oh, you see. Oh, you should have left it at that. Because I could have taken 10 minutes working out how they hold the pen in their hooves.
Well, clearly they use their mouth. What a silly question. Of course they use their mouth.
I mean, isn't that going to create mess in the house anyway? Isn't there going to be a lot of horse shit in your house that is as a result of the horse just dragging? And do you take it up the stairs? Does the horse take the hoof up the stairs?
Ren, come on. It's called making the market, isn't it?
Exactly. That, yeah.
Look at all that. We've got a perfect solution.
Yeah, exactly.
Capitalism at work.
Becomes the equivalent of painting the fourth road brick. Never ending. You just keep going.
Well, the horse never leaves.
Get to the end of the room. Go, look at all that. Start again, and off you go.
The horse never leaves your house.
And it wears out the
vacuum cleaner the best solution for horse shit?
No, it's probably not.
Rhubarb is the best solution.
I'm assuming then the vacuum cleaners were then really sizable in their time, because otherwise, why a horse?
Mr. Dyson might have something. If we only had Dyson on the panel, he'd be able to help us, wouldn't he? He probably knows the history of vacuum cleaners from soup to nuts, doesn't he?
He wouldn't have had a horse dragging it. He would have small children from a sweatshop.
Out in the Far East, yes.
Are we finished yet, Mr. Dyson? No, keep going.
Not yet. Keep going. By the way, Brexit's a very good thing.
We use a horse, Mr. Dyson.
I need enough money to get a spaceship. All the other billionaires have got spaceships.
Jeff Bezos has got one. I want one too.
True.
I think it's true. It sounds like the kind of heroic Victorian engineering we've come to expect, where flamingos being used to beat carpets.
They croquet.
know, giraffes as window cleaners assistants for the top floors, monkeys delivering nuts. I mean,
I'm writing these ideas down. These are great
Yeah.
ideas.
These all taken from Jacob Rees-Mogg, aren't they?
a haunted Victorian pencil. Yes.
I think it's false simply because I can't imagine how you'd hoover behind the toilet with a horse. So I think it must be false. It would never sell.
You hoover behind your toilet.
I didn't say I did. I didn't say
I
I did.
I'm now scared to look behind my toilet that I haven't hoovered behind.
I found a horse behind mine last week.
I've got a rhubarb behind mine.
Well, I have to tell you that it is in fact true. It's giant hoses were popped through the windows of customers and gas power motors generated the suction that pulled the dirt and debris into a glass container where onlookers could gawk, there's a word, gawk at the volume of filth coming from their neighbours' homes.
The volume of filth that comes from my neighbours' homes you don't need to know about. There must be something surreal about seeing just a horse's face pressed against your glass window and then a hose comes through the gap. Yeah.
I heard about horses' penises, but I didn't realise they were that big.
Bernard.
Couple told to get an exorcist after finding unsettling creature in their garden.
Okay, well, just get the RSPCA to come in.
Yeah,
I mean,
Is it?
but isn't an exorcism? I mean, I'm not an expert on this sort of area, but isn't
I've seen the film.
You've seen the film, but isn't exorcism to do with
It's
like
a belter, isn't it?
but isn't it to do with possession? You're possessed by a devil. They're talking about something that just looks weird. That's just mean. You don't need an exorcist for something that looks weird or strange or different. You need a naturalist. You need a Chris Packham, don't you? You don't need.
No one needs Chris Packham. Come on, talk sense.
Instead, you're going to get Max von Sydow presenting Nature Watch or whatever it is.
That'd be great though, wouldn't it?
It would be good, yeah. Max von Sydow would be good. I'd watch that.
Little squirrels with their heads rotating and projectile vomiting.
Yeah.
At the end of every episode, he falls down the stairs.
Yes, badgers quoting Latin backwards. No, it's just so strange that people just go, here's something we don't understand. Let's get an exorcist. They've gone from like 0 to 100 in terms of, well, who can we ask for help? They didn't even think about the police. Their thing is, no, let's go for a witch finder general.
Well, they went to the internet, which I think explains why they got the answers that they got. And it may be useful to know that it looks like a dried up snake, but it was still alive and continued to move.
Well,
so you can see how that would be terrifying.
It was probably a dried up snake.
It probably was. It just needed a bit of water on it.
Yeah, it's just really dehydrated. Had a really rough night last night. It's very dehydrated.
So it didn't even look that unusual because there's lots of long snake-like things in gardens, aren't there?
Hoses.
Hoses for a start. Yeah.
I mean, I have some more information if it helps.
I'm sure it will help. I'm sure it will help.
This lady said, my grandparents spotted it this morning. My nan goes out every morning to deadhead any died flowers. And that's when she spotted it.
It's only deadheads every morning. If you don't know what deadheading is, that's the person who needs exercising. That sounds horrendous.
Yeah.
You go around what? You go around cutting heads every morning? Yes, it's a ritual. But let's burn the snake anyway.
So
there are only women we could throw in the nearby lake.
You think the nan is the problem then? Is that what you're saying?
Well, she's just really sinister because she's deadheading all year round, every day. I know a bit about gardening. I'm sure you're not deadheading every day.
She is.
She is.
Every
That's
morning.
what worries me. And it's not the flowers either.
We haven't even got any flowers.
That's a local
It's completely paved. I don't care.
I don't like him across the street.
Where
kids
did you
going
go?
to
I
school.
saw what
Cheers
came
every
out when
day.
they did the hoovering.
What's our horse doing in here?
Every morning she's out down the street. I curse you.
No, that was sinister.
Okay, gang, we're gonna get. I was gonna say we're gonna go truth or dare. No, we're gonna go for
Yeah, let's do that.
truth or dare. Let's all let's spin the bottle and see what happens.
I reckon it's false.
Well, I think it's true. It happens all the time in suburbia. It's a hotbed of exorcism. Guy walking behind them with a scythe and all that stuff. You know, I think it's absolutely on the money.
It's normal.
Where do you live again, Al? Because I don't want to move. I don't want to move there.
I visit there. I just have a van full of sinister creatures that I throw in people's gardens.
What in Cheshire?
Specifically.
Wherever the
You don't care.
fancy takes me.
Yeah, okay. That's fair enough. What a service you provide, I have to say.
It's a little bit like Amazon.
I kind of want it to be false, but I have a horrible feeling it might be true because people are stupid.
People are stupid,
They
and
are.
but don't be mean. There are viewers, so they've tuned in to every one of these episodes so far.
It's actually true.
Yeah.
It is actually true. And the advice that was given by, believe it or not, by the parish priest was, basically burn the garden down to its roots or move house, was what he's alleged to have said.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, see, I think that priest is in cahoots with property developers.
With Al.
Yeah.
Burn it down to the ground. That's so extreme. Can we not remove the beast? No. Far better if you burn down everything you own. Who are we punishing here? Well, the snakes wandered off. You should still burn the house down. Al, your story.
So mine is West London terrorised by a trick-or-treat interpretive dance gang.
Is the dance the trick or is it the treat of the whole? Do you knock on the door and go, do you want to dance?
The treat is them doing dance for you. And if you don't treat them, then it's a home invasion and they take all your goods.
Oh, okay.
We're coming in and doing all of the Andrew Lloyd Webber medley. No,
Yeah.
please leave.
Why would you not just do what I do on Halloween every year, which is turn
Yeah.
the lights off and just pretend
Yes.
we're not in?
And
Yeah.
disconnect the doorbell.
Yeah, exactly. Turn the phone
Yeah,
off.
but you
Will
say
that protect you from the
Bernard, but
power of
the
dance?
power of dance
The
is
Paris dance is immense, isn't it? Because
phenomenal.
Yeah.
unless I've been lied
Phenomenal.
to by all the musicals I've watched, when a group of people start dancing in the street, everyone else just comes out and starts dancing
do.
with
They do.
them.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Grab a cello.
It's all over the world. It's happening.
God.
Yeah.
I'm glad we've raised awareness of this
Yeah.
tonight.
To
It's now got
say,
serious.
I'm a little bit surprised at the tone in the room. This is something new. It's the kind of comments I would have expected some 30 years ago. I'm kind of, retrogressive. What's wrong with
Yeah.
Morris dancing? Or,
Well, exactly.
chasing peasants on horses and stuff like that. And
Burning witches.
Pigs, bladders,
I
sticks.
don't know. I thought I was in a woke group, but clearly
Well,
I've just got to break off for a minute. There's some dancers at the door. I've just got to
Don't let them in.
turn the lights off. Turn the lights off.
What treats do you have?
Nothing, just my personality. So we're doomed.
and I'm going to go false.
Well, I think it's true because they're at my door now.
It's got to be false.
Al, what is it?
it is in fact
Oh, sorry.
false.
They come to get you.
Did I tell you?
They're everywhere. They're at my door and his door. We're doomed.
For the viewers at home who can't see this is Chipchase, who has put his phone clearly next to his microphone and it's just rung under the. Right. Finally, this brings us to our equivalent of the National Lottery, the Magic 8 Ball. Each of our guests is going to give us their predictions for next month's news. Obviously, if they accidentally guess correctly, they'll be killed by the CIA. So, okay, panelists, what headlines can we be looking forward to? Bernard.
That Ronaldo will stay with Manchester United for about a week and then transfer somewhere else.
He obviously left for a reason, a good
Yes.
reason in the
Yeah.
past.
Yes,
And
exactly.
he's probably forgotten after all these years of sunshine. And I mean, how many weeks in Manchester before you go,
Yes.
oh, yeah, I remember why this was shit.
Yes.
2 days, I think, isn't it?
Chipchase.
Jacob Rees-Mogg has been lined up to play Gussie Finknottle in a new BBC adaptation of the P.G. Wodehouse Jeeves stories.
Have you ever seen that sort of really weird, strange photograph of him and his nanny, where he's just
Yes.
sort of standing there and she's next to him, and it's like something from American Gothic. Part of you going, is that deliberately designed to be creepy, or is that just them looking natural? The cameraman's going, look happy, smile. And they're
Show
all
some
just kind of,
affection.
yes, show us love, show us anything, show us
Same
emotion, and that's
Same
what you
face.
get. Same face no matter what. Al.
My prediction is that our new aircraft carriers tied up at the Thames, one will be turned into a casino and the other into a museum of the British Empire.
What would a
Smacks
museum?
of truth, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What,
Yes.
well,
I believe that one.
your truth smacking us tonight, Al.
Are the tickets on sale yet?
What would a museum of the British Empire be like? Would it just be a load of
British
just a
Museum?
hoard of other people's stuff?
Everything we've
The
stolen.
Elgin marbles.
Yeah, kits.
Taliban say no more British citizens fleeing Priti Patel allowed into Afghanistan.
That is shocking. Obviously, terrible stuff happening in Kabul airport at the moment, and people are being airlifted, and you get these terrible images. And I had the news on the other day, and I just turned the sound down, so I just had the images in the background. I wasn't entirely paying attention to it, which I should have. All these terrible images of people being airlifted and the like. And then I saw one guy getting on a private airplane. I was like, that's outrageous. And then I realized they did cut to the story of Ronaldo going from Juventus to Manchester. And I hadn't noticed the yes, he's been transferred to Afghanistan. He's really angry about that.
No.
The signs were all there for years.
You're going to talk about Brexit again, aren't you?
No. The signs were all there. It was all in. Carry on up the Khyber.
Yes. And if you had watched it to the end, you'd have spotted that.
My great-grandfather in Afghanistan during the First World War because we were protecting the oil pipelines and things even back then.
Is he still waiting to be evacuated?
He is. He's still there. He's still there. Yes. The other great thing about my grandfather when he bang on about my family on this, when he joined the First World War, he got one manky tooth quite early on in the First World War, and so the surgeons took all his teeth out. They took all his teeth. They just went. It's just quicker that way. It's easier.
That was the era of let's remove everybody's
just
teeth
in case.
because it's just better.
It used to be a gift was that you would remove the bride's teeth so that you wouldn't have to pay for dental bills. I'm seriously.
Yeah. It's absolutely true. It was around that era, wasn't it? Sort of 19.
Yeah.
And Jacob Rees-Mogg still a crucible there.
The market for tooth earrings collapsed. There was the oversupply was terrible.
Yes, and it's never recovered since. And that brings us to the end of this episode. And I can reveal this month's winner is Ronaldo's host family in Manchester. I'd like to thank our panel, Bernard Castle.
It's been a pleasure. It's been well above average. Thank you.
Kit Caboodle.
Goodbye.
Chipchase.
I've loved it.
And alopecia.
Bye. That's an hour I'm never going to get back.
Shush. It's not an hour because we edit it down to 20 minutes. And we make it really funny in 20 minutes. Don't give them the impression it was an hour.
We'll do it again.
Guys, can I just be really rude and say I've got a car waiting for me outside, so I've got to go. So
get you.
Go you.
Yeah, well, yes.
And I leave you with these headlines. Taliban to introduce free and fair stonings by 2024. Someone was that a laugh? But you just like breathed into your headphones. Sexism at work reported by over 90% of lady doctors.
Oh, God.
And finally, Prince Andrew appointed trade envoy to Love Island.
You've been listening to NewsBiscuit, free to read and free to write for. We accept submissions from any budding satirist, young or old. Visit newsbiscuit.com to submit headlines, stories, and to support new writers.
NewsBiscuit. Real fake news.
Rather than have him say goodbye, I might
Can
just
you have
edit
I got
it.
a car waiting?
I got a car waiting.
I think that's perfect.
Yes,
That's
please.
perfect. Yeah.
I've got something to help you out though.
Oh,
Ben.
yeah, go on
The
now.
final edit. Ready?
Yeah.
Bye. Well, that's 23 minutes and 38 seconds. I'm never going to get back.